Welcome back, family. Hey, we're here for another episode. It's like number 38, 39, something like that. It's up there. Of Back Issue Book Club, where this week we are going to be tackling the second half of the Court of Owls storyline and the Enfield Gang Massacre issues 1 and 2. For those of you guys new to the channel, whether it's YouTube or on the podcast, I'm Rich Not Wealthy, and my co-host is not feeling well tonight, so I'll just say his name is Greg. He's saving all his energy for anything that he actually has to speak. Like, did you like it? I'll give a thumbs up, which doesn't translate well to a podcast, just kind of saying. But but yeah, he's been under the weather for at least a week and a half. So guys, everybody keep him in your thoughts and prayers, and let's try to get him back up to full speed. So yeah, so this was issues 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 of the 2011 run of Batman, which was the New 52, The Court of Owls. We read 1 through 6 last week. If you missed our take on that or feelings on that, feel free to go watch that. But this was the wrap-up of this story, and this might be the longest Batman arc I've ever read. I mean, I've read like some of the graphic novels, like the what do you call it? The oh my goodness, I can't think of the name of it. The one where oh my god. I can't think of it.
What happens in it?
Joker kidnaps Commissioner Gordon's daughter, and
with the picture, with the
Killing
photograph.
Joke. The Killing Joke.
Killing Joke.
And I thought that was amazing, and I love the ending of that as well. But individual stories, I've never like read whole arcs. I've read like one shots or stuff like that. And I liked Batman, but honestly, I really liked the storyline.
Yeah, this was a continuation of last week of me being like, I want to read. I want to chew up these pages,
Yeah.
I got to figure out what's going on at the end of the story.
And just the mental / emotional damage that Batman / Bruce Wayne took, and still having the residual, almost like PTSD for what they did to him, which you don't think of Bruce Wayne or Batman, succumbing to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he finally, we always praise him for being human and being able to stick with the Joneses of the Justice League,
Mm-hmm.
But he's also always had sort of a plot armor, maybe something going on. So
that's a great way of saying it. Yeah.
So seeing him be human, and dealing with this and racking his brain and seeing it get to him was great. It was fascinating.
But it also really gave us a strong fear of what the Court of Owls does. Like, because you're sitting there as a reader like, damn, if they could if they could get Batman to lose, to feel this desperate, imagine what it would be to like a normal human being,
Exactly.
Now, he's brought to by some girl with jumper cables, I guess. She said it's my boss's van. Who was that?
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Because he was like, you stay away from me. I'm like, what is this, like Incrediboy from the Incredibles?
It must have been some callback to an earlier issue that wasn't part of the arc or something. Well, no, because it starts brand new. Yeah. I don't know.
But, I'm just wondering if it's like another character like Ironheart is to Iron Man. They're like, oh yeah, I built my own armor. I want to be like you. I wonder if this is another one of those kind of wannabe fans that, I want to be like a Batman too, or Batgirl, or like I said, Buddy from the Incredibles. I'm Incrediboy. No, get out of my car.
Yeah, so, I don't know.
If you're watching this on the YouTube video or even on the catching this on the podcast, please, where you put comments and everything, just let us know who the heck that was. What did you think of the Dick Grayson? The Dick Grayson punch.
Oh, that was awesome.
That reminded me of the meme where he smacked him backwards.
Yeah, except this one seemed heavier.
Well, he knocked a tooth out. Yeah.
He just was letting him talk, and then boom, flies the owl tooth.
Yeah. And I'm trying to, it almost looks like it's a crown and it's the underside of the tooth that has because otherwise any dentist would have been like, why do you have an owl on your tooth? You know?
Yeah. So it's interesting that we see that this I think is meant to give you even more fear of the owls and how early they pick their targets and players.
Yeah.
And even more because it's it's Dick, it's Nightwing, it's your buddy. And
Yep.
so like it's they're in your house and you don't realize it.
Which, if you have a house that's in, oh, that reminds me of the other thing I want to talk about. If you have a house that's in the country, I think the people that own houses in the country, they don't realize just how many of them actually have an owl in their attic.
Oh yeah.
I mean, having one in your barn, okay, but to have one inside your house, you might not know it. They're
They're
sneaky little fellows.
I was gonna say they're very quiet. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're predatory animals, so they have to be quiet to catch their prey.
Which we saw again quite graphically, an owl catching and dismembering a bat.
Yes. So that kind of went into the storyline of the origin, the first Waynes to live in Wayne Manor. And the reason that they didn't move in for a couple of years is because they had an infestation of bats in the cave system below the mansion. So they brought in peregrine falcons and this and that and the other, and predatory birds. And the one that was the most successful, I think they said it was a tiger owl.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So it drove all the bats away. Spoiler, it didn't. So
It drove them deeper into the caves.
right. But in that part of the story, they didn't tell you that. But then they had the episode where the owls all came to Wine Manor to hunt the bats.
Yeah. And he had that dope escape hatch in the chimney on the roof.
Yeah. Which was kind of funny because the three that were up there were like, it's locked. What do we? Well, we'll find a way around. But then they had the armory doors. They're like, oh yeah, we can get through that. And why couldn't you get through that thing on the chimney?
I don't know, but I really enjoyed Alfred greasing one of them with the giant penny.
Yeah. Clang. And well, he didn't kill him because you couldn't really kill them.
Well, yeah.
But and as he's pinned, Batman's, you're breaking my arm. I know. When Batman went and got the armor, which it looks like the armor that he used in Batman versus Superman, honestly.
Yeah, pretty close.
I guess it's an armor that he, makes to tussle with the big boys and to make him look like a Gotham Iron Man, honestly.
Yeah, he says it's like rated for war. He personally designed it. It can withstand Arctic temperatures and this and that. So
carbon fiber and blah 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 blah. And actually, what it was 10 times stronger than Kevlar. And what he said was, well, since these guys are dead already, I get to have fun. Like, oh, good. I don't have to hold back anymore. Which in my head, I'm like picturing like Spider-Man beating up a common thug going, oh, lucky for you. Can't hurt you. Can't hurt you.
yeah.
But again, I'm comparing a lot of scenes to a lot of other scenes, which is honestly, that's a good thing for me. It doesn't, I'm not like being like, I can't wait for this to be over. This was sparking thoughts and memories and comparisons, and I like that. If you bear in mind also, we are dealing with, these are all highly like Captain America strength individuals. They're not Superman strength, but they're up there. There's multiple of them. And Batman's injured. So the fact that he's holding as long as he is amazing.
Yeah. And I found it interesting that the rest of the Bat family was taking care of business around town as well. At one point, they were alluding to the fact that, a couple panels here, a couple panels there, Batgirl and Damian were fighting Talons off at different targets, locations of the owls.
Yeah, which you could see some of the targets. What happened to them before the broadcast went out with all the information. The woman in the wheelchair that was kind of pushed off the roof of a building was kind of cruel. Yeah, there was a bunch of panels, scenes, even innuendos that I was reading, going, "Damn."
Yeah, yeah,
But I was really, really enthralled reading this. Um, let me see, where else do we go? Okay, so the next part of the story. Is there anything else up to this point that you want to discuss, or do you want to say what else? What's the next thing you want to talk about?
well, I think it's kind of, I laughed when so we get sort of like a fake ending, right? um
In
and
11,
huh
in the last episode issue.
I'm trying to, I think so. Dick is like talking to Batman, and then he cuts him off, and or no, Alfred's trying to get Batman to go to a meeting. He's like, all right, let's get your suit in. Perhaps it's fine that we don't have all the answers. And Bruce is like resigning to that. And then he sees a picture of his family portrait on the wall, and he's like, actually, fuck that. And he goes and researches more. And he ends up going back to like the old owl house that got stuck in as a kid.
Yep,
And he finds none other than,
the whole court of owls.
yes, in a different state
Yeah,
than he expected.
and he feels robbed. It looks
Yeah.
like I want to go there and great, you're already dead.
Yeah, he
Of
was like,
course, you're
I'm gonna
dead.
burn them down, was like his words, I think. So
Yeah, but he figures out how, who, but not the why. And it turns out it was Lincoln March, who he saw was dead already. He actually tried. He was the one that, when Batman beat, when he beat off, when he beached off. If for all you Barbie fans, all the owls at his house. He said, well, there's two that are still green. Red means they didn't make it on the list because Alfred sent it to him. Yellow is they're in the process of being saved, or we don't know. And green is still savable. So it's like, all right, I'm going to go after Lincoln March, the mayoral candidate. He gets there just in time to open the door, see a gunshot, and it's Lincoln March. I guess it shot the owl that was coming to kill him right through the eye, and he's got a talon stuck right in his chest. And he gives a Batman a message to give to Bruce Wayne as he's dying. Which I don't remember what the message was. Was it written?
yeah, it was something like something to the effect of uh, Gotham is just a dream, one dream away, or something. It references his
Oh,
very first speech or something like that.
right. But after the Court of Owls, he finds them all dead. He figures it out, and he actually goes, and there's Lincoln March. He's not dead, and he's in a Moon Knight-ish version of Batman's armor. That's the best way I can say it.
With some Iron Man mixed in there.
Yeah, exactly. So, and he drops a bombshell. It's in your best Darth Vader voice. No, I am your brother.
Which is a sneaky play by Capullo, because that's why they look so similar in the early books.
We said that, yes. In issue one, I'm like, can he only draw one? I mean, I couldn't tell which one was which because that's what it was supposed to be. We thought it was lazy
Sneaky,
drawing, and
sneaky,
it wasn't. He
sneaky.
was dropping the seeds in our head ahead of time. So, um, he says that his their mom, Martha, was in a car accident with not Alfred, but his father, I think, was the one that was driving, and um, she forced labor because she was injured while the baby was premature, and I had life threatening injuries, so they put me in this children's hospital, which at the time was the #1 ranked children's hospital around ever. It turns out that it was a den of child abuse and neglect and everything else. So,
Well, it descended to that because after the Waynes passed away, all the donor money went away from it.
thank you.
Yeah.
Um, but since they kept it quiet, hush hush, nobody knew about it. The Waynes passed away, and he was mad at Bruce because, well, you were 3. You should have remembered that mom was pregnant. Not that she ever gave birth or what the kid looked like or name or anything else, but this is Thomas Wayne Jr. And he was saved by the Court of Owls, and um, they named him Lincoln March because the intersection where the accident happened, it was on the corner of Lincoln and March. So,
Yeah, they were going to the Owls were going to market him as Lincoln or Thomas Wayne Jr., but Bruce showed up after being like away from Gotham forever at the
yeah,
last second.
missing. Yeah.
And they were like, oh, well, he's got the Wayne limelight now, so we can't do that. So he's pissed about that too.
Yeah, it's like, they said there's too much light on the Waynes right now, which if you're an owl, you don't want light. You do your best in the dark. So they just figured that they could shift gears and make him to be the mayor, a powerful mayor, and reclaim the city. So,
In the end, Bruce isn't totally convinced that it's his brother. Did you
but
see that?
yes, but he's also not convinced that he said until I have definitive proof. But the entire building collapsed, and there was not one shred of any evidence or any part of the body. Which, not to bring up too somber a point, but many of the victims of the World Trade Center in 9/11, nothing was ever found of them because you're under that kind of amount of rubble. Sorry, your body is just liquefied at that point.
It'd be hard.
There's
Yeah.
nothing left to find. Oh, the other thing I wanted to talk about real quick was anybody who was born, raised in a city like I was in New York City. And in Gotham, there's one series of panels where they're talking about his connection to the city, where he feels every crack in the sidewalk under his feet. He hears the buzz of every light post, and you can hear the meters click. As people are putting in coins. I could actually hear those sounds as I was reading it. I'm like, I know exactly what they're talking about. I can actually hear them
That's cool.
In my mind's ear, usually mind's eye, but every time I read it, I'm like, yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, that. If I just closed my eyes, it was transported someplace, and without opening my eyes, I could hear those things. I would say it's 3 a.m. and I'm in Manhattan.
That's so cool.
Well, plus there'd be a lot of sirens and horns even at 3 a.m. But yeah, so he still wants to find out about, find some kind of proof. And I don't know if Lincoln March's character shows up in any later storyline, but I wouldn't think it would be stupid if that was Thomas Wayne Jr., if that actually was Bruce's brother. I don't think it would be, like, oh, they're jumping the shark. I don't think so.
No, it was really tactful in how they did it.
And Alfred, with his advice at the end, saying, look, even if, it doesn't matter what you find out, you lost your brother years ago. That's all that matters. Doesn't matter whose blood he shares. He's not your brother.
Always sage words of advice.
To which
Alfred.
Bruce never truly listens. And then Dick showing up going, well, let me just get you to tell me this and this before I punch you back for 4.
Yeah, and then he says something so sweet that he's just like, screw you.
Oh man,
no, I can't hit you.
That was really wonderful. I mean, he was saying that you think that the only reason that you're not an owl and he wasn't raised by them is because I saved you. Dick, no, the court of owls saw something in you, but so did I. I saw something in you also. And to be honest, I didn't save you. You saved me.
And he says you save me every day.
Yeah, you save me every day. Exactly. Yeah. And Dick's like, "Ugh, I was going to hit you, but now I'm not.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'll just have to sneak up on you some other time." And then you get that little smile like, you'll try.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, just the I would like I would have actually liked to see like the last panel of this comic book. Maybe it does it in the next book because I didn't read it past it. Would be let's go through such and such and or even Dick leaving and Bruce going to the computer and upgrading Dick Grayson to the higher trust factor
That would
to
be,
Alfred's level.
yeah,
So, but overall, though, this arc was amazing. I really enjoyed it, and I'm going first. I'm giving this a 9 out of 10.
absolutely. Me too. I had that decision come into this. 9 out of 10. It's really good, really fun, and it just hits everything. I feel
Yeah,
like.
even all the addition, there's a lot of text boxes in this comic book run. I did not mind reading a single one of them.
Yeah, sometimes I would turn the page and I'd be like, "Whoa!" But I would start reading and I'd forget about it.
Yeah, and actually, it goes quick because it pulls you in real quick. It helps paint pictures in your head.
Absolutely, and, yeah, and it didn't feel like there was like extra fluff or anything. It's just it was the script.
Yep. So that's our review on that. But we did start reading. No, that's a book from the past. We're reading something from now.
Yeah, we're kind of doing this new thing where we read current books as well. And this week we got a suggestion from our patron Robert.
Yep.
To check out the Enfield Gang Massacre books 1
Yes.
and 2.
And this is a 5-part series or 6 parts, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this is an old Western type. What do you call it? Story. It's set in the Old West. I'm gonna put it, I guess, somewhere on 1880.
Yeah,
It
some
feels like
post Civil War, pre 1900, somewhere in there.
right, and a lot of the towns still have not really embraced law yet, and that's key to the storyline. Yeah, the citizens may want it, but a lot of the people that are taking advantage of the fact that there is no law don't want it.
Exactly. I thought it was pretty good. The villain in the very beginning, it was kind of charismatic with the way he was interacting with the banker.
Yeah. You should get a job here. You're robbing me every single month. It's like, I do have a job here. I work 1 day a month and I get paid. And I'm still underpaid. Okay, I'll see you next. I'll
See you next month.
See you next month, Bill. And the banker's like, "Why don't you just get a job here? If you worked here, nobody else would rob me." So it's almost like the bank. Yeah, the banker doesn't want to get robbed, obviously, but he's like, you know what? If anyone's gonna rob me, at least I know this guy's not gonna hurt me. He's cool about it. I don't even. He doesn't even have to wear a mask. We kind of, same time next month. Yeah, sure, no problem.
Because what are you going to do at that point, you know?
Yeah, and I think that the guy that's robbing him, Enfield, is well, as we find out in episode 2, issue 2, he's kind of like, you know, maybe we should stop doing this. Maybe I should just go legit.
Yeah. Banker offered me a job.
But so yeah, he says to him, "All right, I'll see you next month, Bill." And there's a town meeting where the people are complaining to, I don't know if it's a mayor or the legislator or whatever.
Yeah.
That's, there's no law in this town and we need law. This is ridiculous. And even the guy that we voted on and we appointed sheriff, he's just sitting on his butt, not doing anything. And the legislature, look, you voted him, you can vote for him in, you can vote him back out. And you got to understand that people, we're not going to go from lawless to, a perfect town overnight. It's going to take time. And they're like, we don't want to hear that shit. We don't. And an old And in my head, I heard Sam Elliott's voice. I'm sorry.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Looked like him too.
Yep. Old Texas Ranger comes in and, you say, oh, these people want is justice, not revenge, So he's like, well, could you help us out? You're a Texas Ranger. He goes, I came here to retire and I don't want any more of that kind of fight or anything. Then somebody comes running in the door. He's covered in blood. Bill Burley, that's the guy's last name, from the bank has been murdered. So they all go down there and the Ranger goes in first. He comes back out and he goes, yeah, you guys got strong stomachs? What? I'm just asking. You got strong stomachs? I gotta know before you go in there.
Yeah.
And you only see him from a portion of his body from behind, but he looks like he's strung up like the guard in Silence of the Lambs.
And just like, I assume, like emptied out.
Well, the bank had been emptied out. Maybe the banker was too.
At this point, I was like, wait. He left. He didn't kill him. He had good rapport with him. That couldn't have been him.
Right. Did you see what was written on the wall?
Remind me and I'll tell you.
It was only you couldn't see the entire message, but you knew you could fill it in your mind. It says no law here.
Oh, I missed that.
If you look at his body on the bottom right side of the panel, you could see law here, and no had to be there. If they're voting that they want law, somebody's making the message like, no, we don't want law here.
Right.
Now the question is, who did it? So the Ranger is so upset, so what do you call it?
Disturbed.
Offended.
Yeah.
By this heinous crime that he says, all right, we're going after him. Let's go get him. And he's, let's just say, very zealous.
Yeah.
So he gets to this town where the Enfields are. I mean, they've got their own, almost look like another town, Enfieldville, where they've got kids, they got wives, they got families, they got their own stores, and so their own saloon. And he just like, oh, there's two of them, bang, bang, kill them. He's not even given them a chance to really surrender.
Yeah, he's seeing red at this point.
Yep. And he finds Enfield and his friend in the bar. That's where they were talking. Enfield was talking about saying, I want to just go legit and everything. And as soon as he comes in the door, he shoots his friend right there in the heart. And the Ranger's like, consider that the warning shot.
Yeah. And as the reader, I'm like, oh, this is how like probably fucking 90% of the wars have started on Earth. Misunderstandings, not getting all the facts right. And here we go. Strap in.
Yeah. So he dies Enfield dies behind the bar. There's a few other people there. They throw a stick of dynamite to try to cover their retreat. The guy that throws it doesn't make it out of there. So Enfield just setting out the word. Hey, get your kids, get to the stables. We're getting out of here. A horse comes galloping up, and there's two bodies being drugged by it, and and that was sent there by this Texas Ranger, and now you see him up on the top of the buttes, looking down with his posse with sniper rifles. Anakin, I have the high ground. It's popping into my head.
He was like, yeah, they got the message, I think.
Yeah. So first person to stick their head out, kill them. And that's how book 2 ends.
Book 2, I felt went way quicker than book 1.
Now, I do got to ask, at the end of book 1 and the end of book 2, there's a 3-page newspaper article in each. Did you read it?
No.
You know for damn sure I didn't. So I didn't read the newspaper when my father worked there. Anyway, I just looked at it and went, oh, hell no. So, theories, thoughts. What did you think of this book so far?
I like it. It's fun. It's fun to read a Western.
It is. I like the way it's written. I like the way it's drawn.
Yeah.
But in my mind, the Texas Ranger is the bad guy. He's the guy that strung him up. He's the one that showed up at the last minute. Everybody that we've met so far was accounted for when Bill Burley was killed, except the Texas Ranger.
I didn't even cross my mind.
He doesn't. And I don't think it's that he doesn't want law here. I think he's got some kind of personal vendetta with the Enfield gang. Maybe something happened in his state. They got away. They're the ones that killed his partner or his wife or something like that. And that's why I'm not even asking you to surrender. I'm going to kill every single one of you.
That would explain why he's so quick to do it.
And I think the no law here was his way of rounding up a posse to help him do it.
It's a good theory. I like it.
Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. The entire storyline is told right in the beginning from, it looks like 1910, a traveling Wild West show. And come on in, let's tell you about the story of the Enfield Gang Massacre.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. And we see this like really burnt up figure in a casket, So we can't tell by looking at it who it is.
Yeah. Wow. I totally forgot about that.
I think it's Sam Elliott, but morning, bonehead. Oh man, you know what? I would kill to have either Sam Elliott or Robert's voice. One of our patrons, he's got one of those voices you're like, oh man.
Whoa.
In college, this guy got laid. A lot. Anyway.
It was good. I liked it. Go ahead.
I was going to say, do we want to give it a rating at this point?
No.
Okay.
I like it. I'm giving it a positive rating.
Okay. You'll reserve the rating until we have a finished story.
Yeah, I think so. But I liked it, and I'm happy to keep reading it. I want to see if your theory is true.
For those of you that are watching this on YouTube, he is using the mute button. It's not like he's got the quietest sneeze in history. So, for those of you listening to this on the podcast, yes, Greg is sneezing. So, or coughing. I think it's more coughing, but. So not only are we going to continue trying to keep up with the newer issues, which I don't think there's one dropping next week, but I want to, we are going to read the Marvel Superheroes Winter Special, number 8, 80-page spectacular first appearance of Squirrel Girl. So we can try to get a grip on what all the hype is. I know that's a fan favorite, a character, a lot of people. And what the heck, we're going to read it. I imagine it's going to be a little silly, but after something as deep and intense as the Court of Owls, I think we need a little silly in our lives.
Yes, absolutely. I'm excited.
All right, so now let me wrap this up, guys. So thank you so much for joining us either on YouTube where you're watching or on the podcast where you can find us at Team Ohana where you're streaming. And if you're doing one, make sure you double dose and catch us on the other when you get the chance. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram at Team Ohana Family. If you'd like to support the channel, we are on Patreon at Team Ohana. $3 a month. That's all we do just to help cover us. To help cover some of the shipping charges that we send all the free stuff out to you guys. Mondays, we have our cover price top 10 breakdown. Tuesdays, Ahsoka. This week's going to be busy because on Thursday, we got Loki. Those are both going to be watch-alongs for Patreon only. Wednesday, new comic book day, giving away books. What do you know? And, of course, back again on Sundays when we record our back issue book club, which becomes immediately available for Patreon. But on Thursdays, I believe, is when he airs it. I also try to do an FOC review on Friday night or Saturday, so you can know what books are coming out that might be of interest to you on Sunday. Try to give you a lot of content, try to have some fun doing it while we are. Guys, thanks so much for joining. Do not forget, please, to click like, subscribe, drop a comment down below, keep it clean, keep it comics, because we want to hear from you, but we don't want to have to delete something naughty. And click on those notifications so you know when more videos / podcasts / whatever are coming your way. Until we see you in the next video, though,